recording this, and there we go. And I will share my screen with you. So, hello, Ronnie. Haven't seen you for a long time. Okay.
I decided the only way my bridge was going to get better was if I played more.
Well, that's a good thought. So, great. Let's have a look at. Let me get. Oh, what's up with this? Yeah. Okay, great. Let me just rearrange my screen a little bit. Great. And we're going to look at some declare a play hands today. There isn't a single topic today, just a variety of hands that were played recently that were quite tricky, I would say. So let's start with this one. And this was one I sent out at the weekend. West opens a weak two spades, North doubles, which is for takeout, and South you've got 7 points. You do have a spade stopper. In fact, the spades is your best suit. So you may well decide to bid two no trump. Another option you might be contemplating, and it might depend on the vulnerability, would actually be to pass um, and hope you can defeat two spades. Whether you can or not will depend, exactly on how the cards lie. But suppose instead you bid two no trump, that should show some points, and your partner takes you to three no trump. And the opponents lead the king of spades, and down comes dummy. And in a no trump contract, you're going to start by counting your top trick. So you've got one spade, two hearts, two diamonds, and two clubs. Those are 7 top tricks. And obviously, your best chance for more tricks is in clubs. In fact, we hope to make a total of 4 club tricks, um, but we're worried about that two spade opener there. Now, that two spade bid should be a 6 card suit. So if you work it out that that is a 6 card suit, so you've got 4, and there's one in dummy. Um, that means that East has only got 2 spades. So the first key play is to duck that. And if they continue with spades, which they may or may not do, we'll come to that in a moment, um, we're going to win the second one because we suspect that East has got no more spades after that. So if they carry on this way, and we'll look at it played defended in 2 different ways. If they play the queen of spades, let's suppose we win that. And now we want to play the clubs and try, if at all possible, to prevent West from gaining the lead. West is dangerous here because if they gain the lead, they'll be able to run their remaining spade tricks. So you could play this different ways, but the basic idea is to try to keep West off lead. You may not always be able to do that, depends exactly on the holding, but a good strategy is to lead a low club. And if West plays something like the 9, to beat it. Here, play the 10. You're trying to prevent West gaining the lead here. And on this particular layout, when you play the 10, East wins the jack, but East switches to a diamond. We presume they've got no more spades. And now we can win that one. And if the clubs are divided 3-2, we'll now be able to make the remaining club tricks. So played that way, we can cash our clubs, cash our 2 hearts, and our diamond makes 9 tricks there. And if the opponents have kept the right thing, they'll hold us to exactly 9 tricks there. Now, in the link I sent you at the weekend, those of you who tried it, what you probably found is that the defense was a little bit different from what I just showed. So if you duck the first spade, the computer in that link will switch, the computer software will switch to a diamond. Okay, so they've decided not to persist with spades and to play diamonds. So that's not terrible news because you've still got a stopper in spades now. So let's suppose you win that one. And like before, we need to lose a club at some point, and it's often a good idea to lose it early. So let's suppose we decide to lose a club early, and West wins the nine of clubs there. If they now switch to a diamond, they can knock out the ace. And let's suppose we play a club and everyone follows to that. So we now know there are no more, there's just one club left and the clubs will run. And you might think you're out of the woods now, but I've got the first poll of the evening. You've just won the King of Clubs, and the poll is which suit are you going to play now? Which suit are you going to play from the south hand? Let's have a look at your responses. And 50% of you have gone for a spade, and the rest of you have gone for something else. And yes, there is a bit of a trap in this hand at this point because although your clubs are now set up, you have no entry to the south hand. So before you cash your clubs, you need to cash the ace of spades. And if I bring up the four hands and click on the GIB button, you can see that's the only way to make nine tricks. If you lead anything else, you will be defeated because you won't be able to cash the ace of spades. You might be lucky and the opponents may gain the lead at some point and play a spade and you'll take that ninth trick, but it's not guaranteed. So much better to the 50% of you who cashed your ace of spades and then took your clubs, and then you've got the ace king of hearts to make nine tricks. And again, if the opponents have kept the right thing, they'll take the last two tricks. So that was an interesting one where the way you play it obviously depends on the defense. Let's try another one here.
Could
Yes,
you explain the meaning of South 2 no trump bid?
yes. Well, it should show some. It shows a spade stopper. It's a bit like if your part, if one of a suit is doubled and you respond one no trump, um, you're showing something like 6 to 9 points with a spade stopper, I would say. So if you're weaker than that or you don't have a spade stopper, then you'll have to find another bid.
But what is this 2 no trump telling my partner in terms of points?
Well, it should be something like 6 to 9 points, I
I
would.
was even 2 no trump.
Well, because you can't bid one no trump, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's have a look at this one. And it's gone one club, one heart, two hearts, and you jump to four hearts. You've got enough points for game, it seems. And the opponents lead a diamond, the jack of diamonds. And here in a suit contract, we're going to think about our potential losers. And if we look at our losers from the point of view of our own hand, let's see if we can count our potential losers. We've got one spade to lose. We're probably going to lose one heart. Could be worse, but likely to be one spade, one heart. No diamonds. And what about the clubs? Well, we've got 8 clubs there, and if the missing clubs divide 3-2, which they may not, but if they do, then we can actually just lose one trick there. Can take the ace king, lose a trick, and our last club will be good. So we've got a spade loser, a heart loser, and a club loser. We have a decision to make here about what to play on the diamonds. And we're not going to play the diamonds right away. Let's win that first trick with the queen, let's say. Let's suppose we draw trumps, and at some point we're going to cash the ace and king of diamonds. And the question for you, the second poll, is when we do cash the ace and king of diamonds, what do you think you should discard from the north hand? You could discard clubs or spades or one of each. So have a think about how you're going to play this and see if you can decide now what you're going to discard when you come to play the ace and king of diamonds. Have a look at your responses. And they're very evenly divided. The most popular response is a spade and a club, followed by two clubs, or followed by two spades. And I think the only way you can really work this out is if you're thinking about your losers. So remember I said I think I expect to lose one spade, one heart, and one club. And you need to think about what can I discard on those diamonds that will save a loser. And I think that discarding a spade or a spade and a club will not save a loser. You'll still have the one loser you started off with. But if you discard two clubs, then with any luck, you won't lose any club tricks. So I think that's the right line. I think when the time comes, and it's not yet, I'm going to discard two clubs. And if you do discard two clubs, you should be able to make an extra trick. So let's play it. We're going to start by drawing trumps here, and we'll cash the ace and we'll cash the king. And if everyone follows, of course, there's one high trump out. So we're going to leave it. And now we're going to cash our diamonds. And I hope you can see that by cashing your diamonds, if you discard two clubs, you will be able to avoid any club losers. So we'll play the clubs now. And everyone follows, so they're going to divide 3-2. So what can I do? I can play my three of clubs, and I was going to ruff that, but West instead ruffed with the queen, so I'm not going to ruff anymore. I'm just going to discard. But my last club is now good. So whatever they play now, I can win the ace of spades. I will have to lose a spade, but if they play another spade, I can ruff that, and I'll be able to. Sorry, the thing is kind of stuck there, but I hope you can see I've just got trumps left now. So I've got made 9 tricks, and I'm going to make 2 more, making 11 tricks. A lot of people, when this was played, most people only made 10 tricks, and they did some. Let's replay it again, looking at the 4 hands. If you play it this way with the ace and king, and then if you discard, for example, a spade and a club, or 2 spades on the diamonds, you can see you haven't really saved any tricks here, because you were only ever going to lose 1 spade, and you've still got the same number of clubs to lose. So if you play it that way, you'll almost certainly lose the 1 spade, and if the opponents have hung on to the right thing, you will also lose a club trick. So you'll still make your contract there, but you'll only make 10 tricks instead of 11 if you discard the right thing on the diamonds. I think it's a great idea, to try and plan in advance. You can see the prospect of discarding on the diamonds, and to try and work out early on what you're going to discard when when you play the diamonds, or if the opponents keep playing diamonds. Let's try another one, and this time you open a weak 2. That's a pretty respectable minimum weak 2. West overcalls 3 diamonds, and your partner takes you to 4 hearts. So 2 hearts, 3 diamonds, 4 hearts, and the opponents lead the ace of diamonds. And again, we're going to think about our potential losers here. We'll look at our losers in the hand with a long trump, but taking into account the strength in dummy. So if I look at the spade suit, I'm going to count that as two potential losers there in spades. No heart losers. And I've got no club losers, but I have these diamond losers. In my own hand, I have three diamond losers. In an ideal world, I might be able to discard some of those, but another possibility is to rough a diamond in dummy. So if I'm able to rough a diamond in dummy, I'm left with what? I'm left with two spade losers and two diamond losers. But I've got the ace, king, queen of clubs, so maybe I can discard on that. It's all a matter of timing here, depending on which suit the opponents attack, as to what I'm going to plan to discard on the ace, king, queen of clubs. I'm obviously not going to be able to discard any diamonds because they've led that suit. So they lead the ace. East plays the jack, which probably looks like an encouraging signal. They play the king, and East follows up with a two. So East was presumably encouraging, and uh, they play now the queen of diamonds, and you've got to decide what to play from the north hand. Are you going to discard a spade? Are you going to rough? And if so, what with? Or are you going to discard a club? Those are your options. And here is the third poll. And the question is, what are you going to discard? Sorry, what are you going to play on the queen of diamonds? Are you going to rough or discard? And if you're going to rough, what with? Have a look at the results. And this time, the big majority of you have decided to rough with the ace of hearts. And that is a good choice. Sorry, where am I? Here we are. Yes, that is a good choice. If you think about it, let's think about the alternatives. Well, if I rough with the eight of hearts, there's a distinct possibility that that will be over roughed. I could think about discarding a loser, but there's no loser in dummy that will save me a trick. A spade discard, if I discard a spade, for example, it doesn't really save me a trick. So in situations like this, the options are normally to rough low, to rough high, or to discard a loser. But I can't meaningfully discard anything that will save a trick. I can't discard a loser. And with the choice of roughing with the eight or the ace, it's definitely right to rough high here. I've got such good trumps, the king, queen, jack, that I probably it's not going to weaken my trump holding if I rough with the ace. If I think about it, I've got nine hearts, so unless the hearts are really terribly divided, I should probably rough with the ace there. And that's what you should do here. Rough with the ace. Yeah, wet East discards or they can't over up. And now I can just draw trumps and they fall, I think, in 3 rounds. And then I can get to dummy with my clubs and cash two clubs, discarding two spade losers from my hand. And played that way, I should be able to make 11 tricks. I mean, I just lost the two diamonds, and I was able to discard my other losers on the clubs. I hope you can see that if you roughed with the eight, it would get over roughed, and you definitely lose at least one more trick there. Finally, let's have a look at this one. This is a tricky one, and I think when this hand was played recently, no one made four hearts. Let's see if we can work this one out. You open one heart, there's a double there, the takeout double, and North jumps to four hearts. That ends the auction. And let's see how it goes. There's a big clue in the bidding here based on that takeout double that West is likely to have a lot of the missing points. So let's try and make a plan. And down comes dummy, and we can see North has got great hearts there. In fact, North has got more trumps than I have. And generally, if there's a hand with longer trumps, it's better to plan it from the point of view of that hand. So let's see if we can do that. If we look at the spade suit, we have one potential loser there to the king. And based on the bidding, it's very likely that West does have the king there. In fact, West is likely to have most of the missing honours. Okay, what about hearts? We're missing the ace. That should be it. In diamonds, we could definitely lose a trick there. And in clubs, we have a loser as well. So in terms of possible losers, I think it's one in each suit, one spade, one heart, one diamond, and one club. And let's see how this goes. Let's suppose we win that first trick with the ace of clubs, and we start by drawing trumps, let's say. So we play a heart, and East wins the ace. So if you're counting at this point, that's 4 hearts gone, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all the hearts gone, in fact. So there are no more hearts. And let's suppose the opponents go back to clubs, and you win the next trick with the king. And I'd like you now to think about how you're going to play from now on. You can see there's you might be thinking about playing spades or playing diamonds. The lead is in dummy at the moment, and I've got the final poll of the evening, which is, what do you think you should play from dummy at this point? You've just won the king of clubs, and what are you going to play now? Are you going to play a spade? Maybe try the spade finesse. Are you going to play another trump? Are you going to play a diamond? Are you going to leave the queen of diamonds or a low diamond? Or are you going to play a club? Those are your options. And here comes the last poll. And the question is, what do you think you should lead? Let's see what you've put. Well, we've got a wide range with a spade, followed by a heart, followed by the queen of diamonds being the top 3 choices. And let's think about how we're going to play this. A lot of people, perhaps the majority of people, will be thinking about taking that spade finesse, but the chances of that working are very remote based on the bidding. If you noticed, East came up with the ace of hearts, so very likely nearly all the points are going to be on your left in the West hand. So the spade finesse is not going to work. There is another finesse to try here, and that's the diamond finesse. But the way to play the diamonds to try to finesse is not to lead the queen of diamonds, but to lead towards the queen of diamonds and hope that the king, in all likelihood, in this case it will be, is in the West hand. So you can make a trick with the queen of diamonds here by leading towards it. So let's have a look at how this could be played 2 different ways. If you play the a spade, as a slight majority of you do, if you try the spade finesse, that's going to fail. Let's suppose your opponents cash a club now, and let's suppose they play another spade, which you win. Okay, you've lost 3 tricks now, and you can try and make a trick with the queen of diamonds by leading towards it, but West is going to come up with their king and defeat the contract. They'll make 4 tricks there. You're going to make the rest, but you'll go down 1 trick. So how could you do better? Well, leading a diamond at the point where I asked the question, or leading the queen of diamonds, is not going to work. against competent defense. If the Queen of Diamonds is led, then whoever has the king should play it. If East had it, which is unlikely based on the bidding, they should cover an honor with an honor, and it goes Queen, King, Ace, and you're left with a loser here. The only way to make a trick is to lead towards a diamond. So there are, as I said, two finesses to try. The spade finesse and the diamond finesse, it is a different kind of finesse. It's like leading towards an honor rather than, with the ace queen in both hands. So let's have a look at how it goes if you play it correctly. You'll win the ace of clubs. You'll draw trumps. They'll get in, play a club back, and you've drawn trump now. But the way to give yourself the best chance here is to lead towards the Queen of Diamonds, not to lead the Queen of Diamonds. So to do that, you really want to get back to your hand. So probably the best way to do that is with a trump, even though they're all gone. Play another round of trumps just to get back to your hand, and now play a diamond. And no matter what happens here, you will be able to make a trick here. If West doesn't play the king here, you'll of course win with the queen, and that will eliminate your diamond loser. If they go up with a king, okay, they may cash a club, okay, but there's nothing now that they can play that will hurt you. If they play another switch back to diamonds, you can win that one, and now you've got the ace of diamonds on which you can discard. So I've come back to my hand with a trump, cash the ace of diamonds, discarding a spade loser, and now I don't have any spade losers, just three trumps at the end. So there were two finesses to try on that one, but it's actually much better to try the diamond finesse there, leading low towards a queen. People see that ace queen together and they think, oh, finesse, 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 but that won't work on this occasion, especially based on the bidding, where most of the points are on your left. Anyway, that ends the talk there. Do you have a question, someone?
Yes.
Hello.
Why not play a small club, hoping that West is going to win it, and then they have to play into your finesses?
Not a bad idea. So yes, that's a good idea, Francis. In fact, I'm glad you've spoken up, because I heard a lot of people like your comments. They say you often asking questions that they have on their mind. Yes, it could work here, because as you say, it's quite likely that West will win, and then will either lead a spade or a diamond, or another club, which would give you a chance to do a rough and discard. In fact, I think if I click on the GIB button at this point, yes, it says that playing a club will can also make the contract. The only thing was, let's see what happens if you play a club and East plays the 9. Then I think West does better not to play the jack here, right? Because by playing the let's just see if we can make it at this point. So if West lets East win it, because West doesn't want to be on lead here. West is going to be leading away from the honours. Let's suppose we'll replay it this way, and let's suppose they now play a spade. Let's see what the computer says we should play. They say we should play the ace. Okay, so we're still on track to make this. Let's see how. And then they say, okay, we should play another heart. I think we may end up with some kind of squeeze going on here. Let's see. Suppose they play a diamond. What should we play here? Let's say it doesn't matter. So I'm just replaying this, just following the advice of computer, seeing what happens. Yes, Okay, it says I can make it if I lead the queen of spades at this point. So let's try that. And yeah, they'll win the ace, but now whatever they play may help me. You've effectively thrown them in on an end play. If they lead a diamond, you can avoid the diamond loser by playing the queen, and if they lead a spade or a club, you'll have a rough and discard. But you're absolutely right, Francis, that leading a club could well work out there. And it does indeed give you a way to make this, even if East wins that club instead of West. Anyway, let's end the talk there. I hope you found that interesting. The hands are all random tonight because they're just, these were just a variety of declare a play problems. And if you need a partner, just join the game and call me over. We're going to start in about 10 minutes, and I will come and arrange a partner for you. But thank you all very much. Take care, and see you online in a few minutes.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.